Hello, all. I missed you guys. Um, so I was gonna come back on Friday. I got my doctor's note and everything. Was all excited. Friggin' snow day. Um, Today, Monday, I have an appointment. So I won't be in. And then just a quick reminder: Tuesday is an e-learning day, so there will be no Zoom. Wednesday there will be Zoom. Okay. As long as there's school. So if you're an online student, make sure that you are getting back on Zoom. I will be generous for a couple days, but after that, you're on your own. Your e-learning, this is very important. So your e-learning for Tuesday, there's no school Tuesday, it's a teacher day, um, is going to be to write down your grade percentage off Skyward. Okay, so not your grade, so don't write me B plus. I want your grade percentage and your actual grade. Okay, so if you don't do both of those things, I'm not counting it. And the reason being, I want to make sure that you guys are actually checking it. Your grade will be up to date, so you'll know. I snuck in, I was like covert op mission over the weekend and snuck in and picked up everything out of the box. So your grade will be accurate. I'm going to try to get it all done tonight, but I don't know. So I'll post it when I'm ready. But so maybe it'll be on there, maybe not. It just depends. So make sure you do that. I will tell you that if you're missing a bunch of stuff, I'm moving your seat. That's first move I'm making. I'm taking phones and iPads. So if you know you haven't really done anything this past week, you better get it done. Otherwise, I don't want to hear no complaints. So today we're going to be working on compound interest. So if you're on your iPad, it's assignment 15. There are two documents. The first says notes. And for you in-person people, it's on the very back page of your packet. Okay, and then the other page is the actual assignment. Okay, it doesn't look very long, and most of it's fairly simple once you get the hang of it. Okay, so there's a formula. It's called the compound interest formula, and you can use this to find balances of an account that earns compound interest. So, for example, if you wanted to figure out your life or whatever, okay, you could put money in a bank account and say, well, what if I put in $1,000 at this age and saved it for 10 years? What if I put in $2,000 and saved it for 5 years or 10 years? Okay, and you can pre-plan out your money. People always make fun of me, but I'm very frugal when it comes to money. I never had any money growing up, so I'm very money cautious. But so this is the formula, and you're going to constantly have to look at it until you have it memorized. I'll be honest, I didn't have it memorized either. So the formula is just this part. It's just that part, okay? And what it's saying is, well, A is going to be the balance, okay? So that's kind of your total. So let's just kind of scratch that out, and we could say that just this part, gosh dang it, just this part is your formula, okay? So P is always the initial amount. So when I was talking about like, oh, if I put in $1,000, how much money would I have? That's going to be your P, okay? The 1 is always there, okay? The R is your annual interest rate, and annual means yearly, okay? And so you need to write that down. Annual means yearly. Sorry, because I'm writing on the iPad. Annual means yearly. And it's always expressed as a decimal. Okay, and so that's a very important part. It's always yearly and it's expressed as a decimal. N, we use N twice in the formula, over that R and over that T, or by that power. It's the number of times that the interest is compounded yearly. So, and that will make more sense once we start doing it. And T is the time in years. Okay, a couple things I want to note. The formula right here, this NT, it's like really close to each other. And I'm sorry, because the closer I go to the screen, I know you can't see it, but that NT is, when something's right next to each other like that, that means multiplication, okay? And when we use that decimals app, or even the calculators with the orange buttons in my classroom, I think you're going to have to do that. That's the only part that you're going to have to do by yourself, okay, really. So let's look at the practice problem that's on here. It says, suppose your friend was born. Suppose that when your friend was born, your friend's parents deposited $2,000 in an account paying 4.5% interest rate compounded quarterly. Okay, well, let's think about what will the account balance be after 18 years? Okay, anything with a number in it, you're probably going to need. Okay, so we know that we got $2,000, 18 years, 4.5%, and then quarterly. What does quarterly mean? We'll think about a quarter. Okay, well, how many quarters are in a dollar? 4. Okay, and so when we talk about compounded quarterly, it says compounded per year. They want to know per a whole. Okay, so there's 4 quarters. So it's compounded 4 times a year. Okay, and let's look at how they typed in the formula. I did not print this one very good because I'm having a hard time zooming in on it. Okay, well, in our formula, we got $2,000. That was our initial amount that they deposited. 1, remember our 1 always stays there, plus our rate. Okay, so the rate was a percentage, and in order for you to turn a percent into a decimal, you need to take your decimal and you move it over 2 places. And so if we were to do that, we could say that we got 4.5%. Okay. You could put your finger on your decimal and you move it over 1, 2. Okay, and then you make that decimal there. And so the percent, or the decimal, is really 0.045. Okay, and that's where they got that 0.045 in that formula. Okay, they said over, and our n is our number of years compounded yearly. We've already figured that out. It was 4. And then we have an n on the outside, that's a 4 too, and then they did it for 18 years. Okay, and so this is what I was talking about. You don't need to do all of this, but when you do on the calculator, you have to, and so you don't need to do all this bottom stuff. But when you do it on the calculator, you have to do this 4 times the 18 on the outside first. Okay, but everything else you can just type in the decimals app, and I'm going to show you. And right now would be a good time to practice, so get it out. So on our decimals app, okay, we're going to type in that 2,000. Okay, you hit a parenthesis, 1 plus, and then we're going to hit a fraction, so that A over B button. And on the top, we put 0.045. On the bottom of that, we put 4. And then you can click over to close that parenthesis. And then you have to hit that A, B button, okay, to do that power. And it doesn't let you do the multiplication and the powers, and so you have to figure out what is 14 times 8. And that's what you have to put up there. Okay, so before you do all of this, probably figure out what that is. But it's 72. And so it does all the math for you. And since we're talking about money, you use the first 2 decimal places. So after 18 years of his parents putting in only $2,000, he will have $4,475.53. Okay, after 18 years. Okay, so we'll do 1 on here, and then the rest we'll do. So let's look at the worksheet. It says they invested $40.39 in a savings account. Remember, anything with numbers, we should be probably circling it. Okay, $40.39 with a fixed annual. What's annual mean? Means yearly. Interest rate of 3% and compounded 3 times per year. What will it be after 10 years? Okay, the first thing you always need to do is convert that percent into a decimal. So when we have 3%, it's really 3.0. That's what that percent looks like, okay? But we don't write it like that, but that'll help us out. And so you're going to move the decimal place over to 1, 2. Okay, and so when we do our decimal, we should be writing it as 0.03. And you can even put that extra 0 on the back. It doesn't really matter. Okay, and so using our formula, we have, and I don't know the formula by heart. It's going to be P times 1 plus Rn to the NT. Okay, so P, what is our initial amount that they invested? It's 4039, parenthesis, 1 plus our R stands for our annual interest rate. Our annual interest rate. And that's going to be this one. This is our R. Okay, this is our P. And then we use the decimal, so you're going to say 0.03. Our N is the number of times it's compounded per year. Okay, well it's 3. And then we have NT on the outside, so you're going to have NT, so our number of times per year, and for how many years? And it's 10. Okay, and so you can't do that 3 times 10, this one all the way here on the back, and I'll circle it, on the decimals. So you need to figure out what is 3 times 10. Okay, well that's 30. And so this is what you can type in on the decimals. 4039, 1 plus 0.03 over 3 to the 30. Okay, and I'm sorry because I'm writing on the iPad. Okay, and when you type all that in, I'm going to give you just a second, but try it. Okay, you should get 5443.96. Okay, so after 10 years, they're going to have $443.96 in that account. Okay, and so the hardest part is figuring out where everything goes in the formula, honestly, because once you get it down to this like red, you're good. It's just a matter of typing in the calculator.